Chapter 35, The People Matter. Stale water, heavy masculine sweat, raw fish, overboiled cabbage, and spoiled kasha. The stench of the dining hall. It was insidious and distinct. Here, the prison's daily workers gathered for discussion and release, and cramped over familiarities. They woke with the sun. In the haze of the dawn, they convened for breakfast and reported to their designated posts. They worked 12-hour days without reprieve, their gray countenances rimmed with ice, salt, and tears too frozen to fall. At every hour of the day and night, Perchik and the other felons were under the constant surveillance of the overseer and the soldiers in charge. But even under these watchful eyes, Perchik had managed to gather a motley crew of exilic companions. They were all assigned to the same rotation, and for better or worse, they were fated to share their days together. Dmitri Pavlovich Petrovsky had been deported to Nerchinsk for questionable editorial leadership of the university newspaper. Dmitri, thinker, musician, and premature curmudgeon. In the time the men had known him, none had ever seen him laugh. Life was serious business for Dmitri Petrov, and being convicted for treachery was no laughing matter. A shy man of extraordinary height, it was precisely his shyness, seriousness, and towering physical measurement that made him, above all other qualities and skills, a truly exceptional cellist. Dmitri's broad shoulders hunched over a lanky body, as if to protect the heart that ached within him. Large, expressive hands with long fingers were often curled into fists and plunged deep within his pockets, or else ringing, itching to be used to play his cello. His small but ferociously intelligent eyes, shielded by the spectacles he'd worn since childhood, held all the world at arm's length. That night, Dmitri stood reading the decoded pages as Perchik retched upon the rocks near their meeting point. The last few weeks had brought about a successively more withered Perchik. "Do you see?" Perchik asked, wiping his mouth as he rose to the air. "I do," replied Dmitri, rigid. There was much about Perchik that Dmitri Petrov admired, even desired to embody. But Perchik's even disposition profoundly irritated Dmitri Petrov, for they were not qualities he possessed himself. Perchik retched once more, trying hard to muffle the sound. "Are you all right, comrade?" I am. Read on, please," Perchik said. Dmitri looked at the unbound pages in his hands. The title was a bit blurred, as if from an ancient printing press, but clear nevertheless. Materialism and Imperio-criticism, and at the bottom, a signature. Vladimir Lenin, 1909. I scarcely know what to say, Dmitri muttered. "Is it certain?" "It's most certain," said Perchik, his voice lowered even further to the slightest hint of a whisper. "Dmitri, this is not only an ideological unifier. It lays the foundation for real life. This publication will eradicate all philosophical doubts about the practical course of our revolution. It will make our theories a reality." Perchik's eyes were wild, the gears turning in his head. "Who are these friends you speak of, comrade?" Dmitri asked. "I cannot say." "No," Dmitri said. "You can say, and you shall. You wanted me involved. I'm involved. We are friends, Perchik. We are practically brothers out here in this godforsaken place. I collect and deliver your post, do all you say, and I don't even know who these messages are from. It isn't safe, Dmitri. Less safe than already being in internment doing physical labor in easternmost Siberia. Fine. The messages are from Leonid. Trotsky? Shh! Dmitri rasped in an angry whisper. All right, comrade. You had me taken. I thought you were a dreamer. I had no idea you were this involved. I'm out. I cannot help you further. I am a musician. I am a graduate student and a terrible editor of a university newspaper. I have not the stomach for actual politics. Dmitri, that is not true. You are a good man and a brave one. Nonsense. I'm not capable of this kind of courage. Perchik took Dmitri by the shoulders and looked through the lens of his glasses square into his eyes. It would not be courage, comrade, if you were not afraid. Dmitri hesitated. Fine. We must get out of here, said Perchik. You think? Dmitri rasped in exasperation, as if needing to get out of Nerchinsk were news. Dmitri grabbed his eyes hard behind his spectacles. And also, who exactly is we? But Perchik did not answer that. He grew very grave as he spoke. The people matter, Dmitri Petrov. We matter. Though we whisper here in hiding, there are thousands, weaker still, whose voices cannot be heard at all. We must speak for them, work for them, believe for them. You and I have developed a talent for enduring calamity. The great calamity has yet to arrive, and when it does, think how prepared we shall be. Not a soul alive had ever been capable of soothing Dmitri Petrov, let alone rallying him. He nodded. All right. What now? Listen, Dmitri, when they question you, and they will, you must profess that you know nothing. Can you swear that to me? Dmitri had never seen Perchik like this before. He gripped his head and took a long breath, his mind tied up in bleeding knots. He could not contemplate failing Perchik. I swear. It will be brutal. Enough! I said I swear. Dmitri turned away. Perchik placed a hand upon his shoulder. Bruises will heal, Dmitri Petrov. The world might not.
Bodies both are broken, there's brands upon our skin. Though it's hard to keep a meal down, we won't kneel down and give in. There's too much that's worth fighting for, that's too long been delayed. You will never find your courage if you never feel afraid. The waiting world is a coin in your hand. Once you toss it, then the way you breathe can change the way the coin will land. You have the power. What will you do? The waiting world is waiting for you. Make a difference that isn't just a dream. The scratch of pen on paper can scratch out a regime. A breeze becomes a gust of wind that blows the locks off doors. If whispers can turn to murmurs, then murmurs can turn to roars. The waiting world is the ring of a bell. I can hear it now, I can hear it too, and they will hear that bell as well. thought she was all planned, but then I walked across that line, and I took my huddle's hand, the hand I would